deep free agent class. It's star-studded at the very top, but then it drops off. Willson Contreras in a unique spot. He is by far the best catcher on the free agent market. Jeff Passan tweeting out earlier, the Cardinals and Willson Contreras, 5 years, $87.5 million. That's 17.5 per AAV. We do top 10 right now, and when you're forced to rank each position into a top 10, you end up having Willson Contreras quite high. You see weighted runs created plus, that is basic hitting. He's 5th among catchers. Total bases, he's pretty durable. 2nd, wins above replacement. That's offense, defense, base running, everything. 2nd, only JT Realmuto is higher. Innings caught, relatively durable. He's 5th. So he ends up normally, Joel, in the top 5. He's going into his age 31 season. Obviously, Yadier Molina just retiring for the Cardinals. Your thoughts on this deal?
Yeah, it's hard to go, I think, 180 degrees more than Yadier Molina to Contreras. This is a team that's had success for the past 20 years because I think Molina as a hub player defensively. Look, until we have an automated strike zone and maybe an earpiece so that everybody could have the game called by their offensive and defensive coordinators like football, I think the position has become so much more important on defense than it's ever been before. Those 120 to 160 decisions you have to make a year, your relationship with the pitcher, how you frame the ball again until we get an automated strike zone. We just watched a team win the World Series with Martin Maldonado. He might be one of the 5 or 10 worst offensive players. Austin Hedges' Cleveland team made the playoffs. I just think that the defensive component on that side of the ball has never been more vital. And I would rather have Christian Vasquez and than this.
Yet, I was looking up, Steve, like the basic metrics that we can. Look, there's calling a game, which is difficult to quantify. Is he good at that? But his framing is pretty much gotten to league average. It seems like his defense is sort of on the plus side. He's holding runners on. He's throwing out some runners. So I realize, maybe he's not Johnny Bench, but it doesn't seem like the metrics are saying, no, this is not a good defensive player.
No, that's right. The metrics are pretty good, actually. I mean, average pitch framing overall. And then you look stolen bases allowed, 72.7%. So he did throw out some base runners this year. I think he had 24 stolen bases, 11 caught stealing. The pop time, 1.93 is excellent. It's an excellent pop time for a catcher. And remember, stolen base going to be a big factor moving forward for teams. Now, we don't know about the stolen bases, how they help pitchers, base runners, and everything else in Chicago, but we know he's got a strong arm and a quick feet and quick release, and that could pay dividends, particularly in a season where we're going to see more stolen base attempted in it. Now, he's also an upgrade offensively. When you think about the offensive production that the Cardinals have gotten out of the catcher's position, it's not been much. I mean, Yadier Molina has had flashes of big hits and that sort of thing, but it's not just a matter of, do you like Contreras? It's like, okay, well, what are your other choices? Now, Christian Vasquez, solid guy, defensive guy, a guy the Red Sox seem to be interested in. The Twins are interested in him as well. The Cardinals dabbled and had thoughts of a 3-year deal. But when you look at it, the other options are in the trade market right now. Sean Murphy from Oakland, we started these meetings with speculation that the Cardinals were close to a deal to acquire Sean Murphy. Then Danny Jansen from Toronto's a guy who can call a good game. He's got some pop in his bat and a solid overall player. But Murphy, the guy with the most impact, look at the F-WAR right there with it. And so it came down to this. I think the Cardinals looked at it. They were in on Murphy. They were in on Jansen. But they decided they wanted to keep the prospects and the capital there and spend the money. And so you're getting a guy that can swing the bat who may be neutral defensively, and they'll work with him because we all think we're smarter than everybody else. We'll teach him to be better at calling the game.
Are we about to get a shift? I know, Tom, you've written about this, again, with the potential of base running taking a big uptick, right, with the new rules. Are we going to be looking at a different, like what we value in catching very differently?
Yeah, I like what Steve said. I think stolen bases, you will see an increase in attempts, so defending the running game becomes more important. That includes pitchers, obviously, but the catcher's throwing is an important part. He throws really well. There's no question about that. I think he's gotten better behind the plate with his skills. Not in love with his framing. I'm not sure what the metrics really regard that as, but he's very active. He's active in general. This is a guy, he's very athletic. Wasn't signed as a catcher. Didn't grow up as a catcher. There were a pair of shin guards and a chest protector lying around. He was so bored, he said, can I use these and warm up pitchers? They said, go ahead. He said, I love it. I want to catch. He's an active guy. I question whether the Cubs didn't have a place for him. He went to a division rival, as you said, probably one of the best catchers in the game. I'm with Steve, too. I think Murphy was the priority for St. Louis until they found out the price was just too high. Why not just, instead of spending the capital of young players, spend the money on Contreras, who does upgrade the position greatly offensively?
I wanted to ask you that because I remember when Contreras had his basic goodbye to Wrigley Field.
A couple of times.
He was crying. People were crying. I'm like, you can keep him. And they do want to make an upsurge. Like, why wouldn't the Cubs say, no, he's our own guy, spend that money on him? I miss
don't
that
know.
too.
Jan Gomes is their catcher right now, and they probably need somebody else there to also hold down the fort. But I like this for St. Louis. It's not a terrible contract. It's 5 years. He can play some outfield, athletic enough to do that if you want from time to time. It's not why you sign him. I'm not saying that. But I'm saying he'll hit as the DH on days when he doesn't start behind the plate. Again, I'm with Steve. I think this team needed a little more offense, and they have one of the better hitting catchers in baseball.
I had the question you just asked, which is the team that knew him best did not keep him. And it isn't like they had to go to Judge levels to keep him.
Right.
This is a contract where you say, oh, it's a big market team in Chicago. It isn't like they're sitting with one of the better prospects in baseball who they're now going to move in behind.
He's part of the
plate.
championship club, by the way.
And by the way, the last of it, pretty much.
Yeah.
And
Kyle Hendricks, that's it now.
Yeah. And the fact that the team that knew him best, by the way, who wasn't able to trade him for what they thought of value in July when they definitely were, when he was doing all those goodbyes. Mm-hmm. And the industry was like, we don't really want to work you in for the last 2 months of the year because it's tough to do with a catcher. It worries me. It would make me pause.
Yeah, it's interesting, especially within the division.